Track wrestling here in Rochester, Minnesota, Minnesota Christmas tournament with Wisconsin assistant coach Matt McDonough on a recruiting trip up here. Let's start there. Recruiting new for you.
Yep.
What have you done to try to become a good recruiter in year one?
The biggest thing is taking notes from the two guys I'm working with, Coach Bono, Coach Reeder. They've been in the game a while. They know what they're doing. Taking some of the things that I witnessed while I was at Iowa. Obviously, I wasn't recruiting, but you get to be around it still a lot. Just showing your face, getting out there, putting in the time spent to watch these kids, to really analyze them and get them excited about the opportunity to become a Badger.
Let's go back to your time being recruited by the Hawkeyes. I think Wisconsin recruited you as well,
right.
Northwestern as well. There are probably some other schools in there too. What did you like about the process, and what maybe were some things that you didn't like so much about it?
I loved to see each school for what it was and for the things that it can do for me. Taking that to the aspect of recruiting now is just trying to show them, how much benefit they can get from coming to a place like Wisconsin. Some of the things you obviously don't like, and it's just part of the game, is how much it's almost it's like business. The business side of it's not fun. If we were where we wanted to be in the sport of wrestling, we would have 30 full ride scholarships. So you could have 3 guys at every weight with a full ride, just like football does with their team. But that's neither here nor there. And I was fortunate enough to have parents and a family that didn't put a large emphasis on that. And really put an emphasis on making the choice that's going to set me up for the future. And I thought that was something that was very profound and has always stuck with me, that I went where I thought was going to set me up best for the future, and right now I'm in a place where I'm doing what I love to do, coaching wrestling and at a high school tournament recruiting.
If memory serves me correct, you committed maybe late October, November, somewhere in there of your senior year, and obviously we're seeing decisions earlier and earlier. How much has it changed since, looking back when you were a high school senior?
From my perspective, it's night and day. I mean, you're seeing sophomores commit. You gotta wonder how are they just blindly committing, or how are they? Because technically you're not supposed to have any real communication and correspondence with a sophomore. But now take it to, you can have full contact with juniors, and it has its benefits, but it also has its drawbacks. I mean, it's just so much. I don't want to say it's more work, like that's a bad thing, but it's just more for the kids. It puts a lot of stress on kids at a very young age, and my advice to a lot of kids is don't even worry about it until you're a senior. But it's just not the way the trend is going. But I respect kids who wait until their senior fall to make their decision and go on their visits, because they're focused. They're probably focused on the right things a lot of times.
You mentioned NCAA rules in that answer a little bit, and there must be thousands in that rule book. What's it like for a new coach to go through what you can and cannot do?
That is absolutely, without doubt, the biggest learning experience I've had. Is just every time you're like, well, let's do this, and they're like, you can't do that. Like, you have to do this or that, or when you're not on a staff, you're not too worried about rules. You're just trying to, help kids wrestling or whatever. And I know that there are rules, but being in Iowa, the coaches, they were dealing with those NCAA rules, and I was didn't have to worry about that. So now there's an NCAA rule for everything. It's almost like no matter what you do, you find a way. There's some rule you're inevitably breaking. It's wild, but you play by the rules, you work hard, and good things happen.
One of your top recruits is here in this tournament, Eric Barnett, junior national champion a year ago. first team preseason All-American for our Cliff Keen preseason All-American team. How much have you had a chance to get your hands on him, wrestle with him a little bit, and what has impressed you most about him?
He's a great kid, very competitive, has high standards for himself, and he loves to do big things for the sake of doing big things and getting the recognition and having that sense of accomplishment. And that's, I mean, you can't ask for more than that. So we're excited to have him, and I think it's going to be a great future to get to work with someone like that.
What would you say are the biggest successes you guys have had so far in the brief time you've been at Wisconsin?
I think just working on the culture and the belief that we can wrestle with anybody, and really changing the work, the workload, that these guys understand that, hey, we put in more work, we can wrestle with anyone come that 7th minute of the match, and just turning every match into a fight. I mean, we've had some great duels so far, and they're fun and they're exciting, and you know, it's not necessarily the wrestling the #1 team in the country. We'll get a chance, but we went to Ohio State, and you know, we didn't get what we want, but there's things to work on, and there's things that we see that are very, very encouraging for the future. And I think most of it is just in effort, and guys they're responding to that great, and they're building that sense of team where everybody wants to win and for the right reasons. And then lastly, just every aspect of your life, living it right. Discipline, you know, live the life of a wrestler, you like to say. They're starting to live the life of the wrestlers. So,
how were you able to make 125 for 4 years after you'd wrestled your senior year in high school at 130?
I think my bones might be hollow, or were. I might have filled them up now. No, you know, you just, when you make a decision and you don't look back, it gets a lot easier. You make a decision, you don't question it. You just 100% invested, and you believe what your mentors are telling you. And then when you find something that works for you, you do it, and you create a routine. You know, and just that sense of that sense of direction. You know, you have a goal, and none of the outside factors are going to separate you from that goal, and that made it a lot easier. But as far as, you know, doing it, it's hard no matter any way you do it. The path to do it is easy. It's the actual doing it that's hard. It's just hard work.
What was the most challenging part?
For me, I think it was just, I mean, the workouts weren't hard. It was just maintaining, being disciplined every week, staying on the discipline, because one day of no discipline can set you back for half a week, and now all of a sudden you're worried about your weight when you got to wrestle the number 2-3 guy in the country. And you don't want that. That's an outside factor that you don't need to be concerned with. So I think the hardest part was maintaining every week a discipline to where it became a routine and not all right, here we go again. You know, it was just, it became second nature.
Somebody puts $1 million purse on the line. Can you make 25?
Can I make 125?
Yeah. Can you still do it?
Yeah. Are you asking me to wrestle 125, or are you asking me to make it? No, I mean, I'm probably not much of a 125. If I ever competed again, it'd probably be at 61 or 133, that weight range. But I had my time at 125. It was good.
Were there any thoughts about putting your name in for AWL, the draft eligible?
Yeah, I thought about it, but you know, I'm focused on what we're doing at Wisconsin, and I want to give my investment to that. And you know, making some money and being in a big event has its benefits, but I want to do what's right for the athletes. I want to do what's right for the guys at the University of Wisconsin, and you know, that comes first. So if I do things right there, then good things will happen. And obviously, I'm not going to compete unless I plan on going out there and beating the tar out of someone. And if I'm not fully invested in that, then I'll hold off. But you never know.
You got anything else for us?
Go Badgers, and it's great to be at this tournament. You see some good talent. It's an exciting time right now.